Hello Australia, welcome to episode 540 of The Couch. It is a big one. Hello Demelza.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. I'm excited because we've got a big show coming up.
Massive, absolutely massive.
On the show today, we've got a little loud coming in. Last week they didn't have enough time, so I had to send them home, but I actually got them to stay in the cupboards here and they're willing to come out, so we'll put them on today. Can't wait to talk to them.
Grace Newton-Wordsworth will be performing live for us.
City of Bayswater Deputy Mayor and Councillor Michael Sabatino is coming in to talk about the elections that are coming up.
We're going to be talking music with moi.
Wild Things with Marnie Giroud is back.
Guide Dogs WA will also be in.
And I did something with them called Dining in the Dark, awesome event. Expresstival, we're going to talk about that with our very own Demelza.
Yes.
And what else we got?
We've got Dr. Jenny Brockis who will be in talking about her brand new book.
And Mark Storen is in to talk about his great new production company called Whiskey and Boots. We've got an amazing show. Episode 540 with all of us starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with friends and the best in town. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
We have got such a big show. We might even talk about the United Nations event that's coming up in Perth on the 23rd of October with Neesha. Stay tuned. Big things are happening, but to open the show today is our very own big performer. She has won an amazing amount of awards with her singing and her a cappella band, which will come on very, very soon. But today she's doing an original called Finding You. It is our very own presenter from The Couch, Grace Newton-Wordsworth. Here she is.
Tell me you're not worth loving. Well, I just don't know. 'Cause when I look deep into your eyes, I can see your soul. A world of love and pain. You've been hurt before. But should I give up my heart to you? Will it be wasted away? Finding you, oh, please be true. You bring sunshine, you bring rain into my heart. You tell me you're looking for a way out, finding a brand new start. This is where you run away and hide from the truth. Every time you open up, well, there's something to lose. Oh, oh, finding you. Oh, please be true. Oh, please be true. You can open your heart to me, or you can turn away. Just make up your mind if you want to leave or stay. Forget about secrets of the past. I let them go. For everything you are now, I want to know. Please
Grace, you are amazing. That is, of course, Amazing Grace. I didn't think of a tag there, but that was beautiful. She'll be coming back at the end of the show to perform another original, one of our presenters, Grace Newton-Wordsworth. So well done. Time now to talk to another lady who's not a performer or a singer, but she's a great lady herself. It's our very own Neesha Seth, and she's talking to Councillor Michael Sabatino. Over you.
Thank you, Fred. You're very kind and great to have such local talent, even just on the couch. So, Mr. Michael Sabatino, you're the Deputy Mayor as well as a Councillor for the City of Bayswater. Welcome.
Thank you, Neesha, and thank you for having me here today.
Absolute pleasure. Now, Michael, you've been a councillor for around 25 years and done some amazing things, which we'll talk about today on the couch. But first of all, tell us about your genuine passion and how you got into being a councillor, because it's a lovely story.
Yeah, look, going back 25 years ago, there was a lot happening within our city, but people weren't told about it, and when I went to investigate, all I found is brick walls, and I could not get to the councillors, nor could get through to the CEO. And I thought, this is not right, therefore I decided to run for council. I got elected, and I've been elected ever since.
That's wonderful. So a really authentic start into being a councillor. Over the last 25 years, you would have seen some amazing things happen in Perth, wouldn't you?
For sure. Look, the City of Bayswater, as it is today, is totally different than it was when I first got elected. At the moment there, we've got one of the nicest shopping centres you could imagine. The Galleria.
Yeah, lovely.
And we have...
Love shopping.
Yeah, and you've got also the river. We've got 10 kilometres of the river foreshore, which is the Swan River, which is a fantastic river. And as a council, we are, with the state government, we are constantly renovating the banks because they've got erosion there. So we spent quite a bit of money into that situation of rectifying the river. So we want to keep it pristine and as nice as it's ever been. So we've got to look after our river.
Wonderful. So as well as all, I guess, the strategic work that happens behind the scenes for the future of the city, of course, being the Deputy Mayor, you also have a lot of formal engagements. Tell the audience a bit about the formal engagements you get involved in.
Look, as far as the Deputy Mayor's position is, that the Mayor normally does all the workings of the council. He's involved strategically with the council, but when the Mayor, there's two functions on at the same time, or he's away on holidays, then the Deputy Mayor takes the position, and then I act as the Mayor. So if there's any major problems occurring during that particular time, the Deputy Mayor takes over, and works with the CEO together and the directors to work out how to solve the problem. Yes.
Wonderful. So I guess having that really collegiate approach as a team is really important, being a councillor. Is that your approach to working with the fellow councillors as well, bringing everyone together as a team?
Yes, look, that is the idea. You don't always get that working together and meshing together with all councillors. And I suppose that's democracy at work. And we all got independent views, and therefore we make a decision that however it's presented to us, and hopefully we make the right decisions all the way through.
And Michael, I'm hearing lovely stories about people being able to, not that I'm promoting this on national television, I kind of am, but being able to knock on your front door. I just want people to know the type of guy you are. They come to your house and you're actually standing there perhaps in your pyjamas at some points, and you invite them in for a coffee.
That is true. Look, as I said earlier, when I first got elected, I tried to get to councillors and the doors were closed. Mine's open 24 hours a day, basically. I have people on Sunday mornings, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, knocking on a door that they've got a problem, and I invite them in. Sometimes in my pyjamas, I have to get them to sit while I go and get changed into my clothes, and then offer them a coffee, and we discuss the problem.
That's great.
I find that that I can help people, and I do help them from my heart. That's how I think is a fair way to deal with.
And I imagine that would be a real challenge, because being the Deputy Mayor as well, you want to still have your grassroots connection with the community, still be at events and espousing values of the city, but then also behind the scenes managing everything too. So how have you found that in the last 25 years?
Look, it is difficult because we have 4 standing committees, and that in its own is very difficult. I was chairman of Tech Services for a number of years and involved yourself directly with the engineer, city engineer, and that took a lot of work. So look, there's a lot of work involved, but I do get enjoyment, and I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing, helping people.
You can see that passion coming through, absolutely. So what's in the plans for the city over the next few years?
Look, what the plan is, looking at the river, as I said earlier, we're going to actually promote and build some cafes and restaurants along the river foreshore, which parents and children can come to enjoy. Also, we have the Galleria, the Centro Galleria in Morley. Now that's going through a phase. There's going to be approximately over $400 million be spent there.
Wow, that's
to
amazing.
upgrade it. Yes, and we're at the moment we're basically having discussions with the developers so that we have a good outcome. And also, I spoke to the Minister for Transport just a few weeks ago, and he stated, and I asked the question about the underground bus terminal that's going to be introduced within the shopping centre, and he says that they're negotiating that at the moment. So it's really exciting. I'm looking forward for the next 4 years in council. Hopefully I get re-elected, and I'm looking forward to it dramatically.
Wonderful, and that leads me to our next point, because I could talk to you for a lot longer. Very interesting gentleman. We have the council elections on at the moment, right through to the 17th of October, I believe.
Correct.
And you are up for re-election.
Correct.
So I guess just a quick opportunity to let the audience know, I guess, in your view, what will you continue? I mean, 25 years is a long time and a lot of experience, but what will you continue to offer?
Yeah, look, I have got the passion, and what I can say is, please, the electorate out there, the ratepayers, please go out and vote on the day. Or actually, we've got a system of electoral voting. So what actually happens, you get an envelope from the Electoral Commission, come to your home, you fill out who you want to vote for and send it back to the city, and then it gets the opening of the ballots on the 17th, and that's when the count will occur. So let's hope, please, if you're out there in the central ward of the City of Bayswater in the area, please vote. I'm looking for the support so I can carry on for another 4 years.
Wonderful, Michael. Well, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the couch today. And if you are a constituent in the City of Bayswater, it is a great opportunity to get engaged. You can find out more about Michael. I'm sure with Google these days, we can go onto the city's website as well. Or I'm not imploring you to necessarily knock on his front door, but I think that example I showed was just his genuine commitment and his passion. So please get involved. But for now, we'll see you, I'm sure, in the future. Best of luck with the election.
Thank you very much, Neesha. Much appreciated.
My pleasure. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much, Neesha. Look forward to talking to you more about the United Nations event that's coming up on the 23rd of October after you talk to Dr. Jenny. But now it's time to talk music. Demelza Leonard is back. Welcome back.
Hello.
Do you vote in your council election?
I do.
Why do you think it's important for people to vote?
I think because people need to have their voice. There's no point complaining about, oh, the council does this or the council doesn't do that. And then if you don't vote, how do you have your say?
And I reckon they should make it compulsory that people have to vote. Like we do for federal and state elections, councils should have that importance as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't vote and then expect why their shopping centre's not built, why roads aren't done. Well, have your say. That's why we have to vote.
Well, that's exactly it.
But I'm voting for you for music this year.
Oh, lovely. I feel so special.
What have you got? Have you got any ABBA news for me today?
Maybe.
Oh,
you'll have to
I'm gonna
wait
sit
and
very
see.
quietly.
A little bit of sad news, a little bit of happy news. It's a big mix
okay.
up this week. Now, starting off with a little bit of sad news, Thirsty Merc drummer Mike Skelton, a couple of weeks ago, Thirsty Merc was in a horrible accident which claimed the life of the band's stage manager.
It's terrible.
Mike Skelton has awoken from a coma. He was placed in a coma due to that traffic accident. Whilst they were travelling to a gig in Victoria, he has awoken and he is on the mend, which is great news for the band. They were obviously touring the country as part of their a few dates. They have said that those dates will be rescheduled once they know when that can happen.
Not good news.
No, not good news, but we do wish them, Mike, all the best in a very speedy recovery. Bobby Christina, now another tragic story. Authorities in the US have announced they are sealing Bobby Christina's.
Now, this is the daughter of
the late Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown.
The greatest love of all.
Bobby Christina Brown. They're sealing her autopsy report. The move for doing this has been applauded by Bobby Brown himself, and his lawyer have accused Nick Gordon, who was Bobby Christina's boyfriend, of playing a role in harming Bobby's daughter. So it's very, very messy at the moment, and just absolute horrible story. Brown has said in a statement, I look forward to having the court hear the evidence in the civil lawsuit and hopefully the criminal action very
Sad
soon.
when someone passed away, the mother passed away, now the daughter passed away. You would think that they would have learnt something from all this, that it's time to stop this.
Well, there was actually a story that came out, and there hasn't been too much confirmation, in fact, if it's actually legit, but that they believe Nick Gordon was responsible for taking photos of Bobby Christina at her funeral.
So
Which
how
is
stupid
just
is that?
horrible.
It can only happen in America, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
It's
well, you know,
childish
it's just
and insensitive.
very, very insensitive, and it's
All about
you know,
money.
Money.
It's always about money.
Very greedy. Now, in a little bit more positive news, Karen O, who is the front woman of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, has introduced her newborn son. She posted a photo of herself
beautiful.
and her little one on Instagram with the caption that featured lyrics from Roberta Flack's The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face.
First time ever I saw your face.
That's lovely.
I
I don't
know.
think she quite sings it that way, though.
Okay, thanks. You do better. Go on.
It's the first
Go on,
child.
you try.
You'll have to wait and see. This
Okay.
is the first child for O and her husband as
Congratulations.
well. Now, ABBA news. You might be pretty
have we
happy
got
about
time
this
for
one.
it?
I think so.
We'll make time.
Now, a Dutch neuroscientist has developed a formula to determine what makes a song uplifting and has identified the ultimate feel-good track of all time. Now, sadly, ABBA wasn't the number one. That went to Queen, but surprisingly, it wasn't We Will Rock You, it wasn't Bohemian
Yeah.
Rhapsody, it was Don't Stop Me Now.
I can hear it.
So Don't
Queen.
Stop Me Now was the one that they said was the all-time feel-good track.
Oh, can we hear a bit about, lift the volume up on this one a bit so we can hear it? Don't
Running
you,
on an ad at the moment.
don't you, which ad?
It's one of Banks.
Oh.
But
Do you know what? Don't you love Queen? They're the same as ABBA. Whenever you hear Queen or ABBA or the Beatles, they're just
they're on the dance
amazing.
floor.
Yeah,
On the
they're
dance floor.
amazing.
Second on the list was ABBA's Dancing Queen, followed by the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations. I'm a little bit...
Friday night and the lights are low.
There you go, you've got your ABBA now.
Looking out for a place to go where they play the rock music,
Dancing.
getting in the swing. I'm in the mood for a dance.
See, they're drowning you out with the music.
See Demelza.
There we go, there is
Watch out,
ABBA.
Fred. Oh, you gotta love
Yeah,
ABBA,
you're
eh?
amazing.
Exactly.
I actually have a little bit of a gripe with this because I think there's a few other songs that they could have thrown in there.
Which
Cyndi
ones?
Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun
That's
came in
a
at number
classic.
7. But things like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch with Good Vibrations, like
Oh,
that song
dear
comes
me.
on the radio. I could be in the worst mood and it's ultimate, let's go. This is fun. I could bust out the Running Man in the middle of the street.
You know what? I tend to agree with you. I think Girls Just Want to Have Fun is a classic. And you know, Katrina and the Waves, I used to love
Oh,
that.
Walking on Sunshine.
Couldn't that be there as well?
Well, exactly. I didn't even see that on the list.
No.
Now, in new music, this is one of my favourite artists. Janet Jackson has teamed up again with Missy Elliott. She,
Yep.
of course, had Son of a Gun, the remix, which came out late 90s, maybe possibly early 2000s. This time it's Burn It Up. It's exactly the same, very fast-paced, very fun,
Is this the one we're
very
hearing?
funky. This is the one.
It's called Burn It Up.
Burn It Up. It's the first release of the album
Mm-hmm.
called Unbreakable, which came out last Friday. Best album that she's had in over 15 years. Critics are raving about it. It's that old school Janet Jackson. So if you're a fan
Mm-hmm.
of her Rhythm Nation days, and one of the reasons behind that is because she's teamed back up with the producer Jimmy
Yep.
Jam and Terry Lewis, who remember the time, Michael Jackson's tracks, Rhythm Nation. So it's a solid
Fantastic.
album.
I love Janet Jackson. I have to say, the whole family, the Jacksons, are just an amazing
just
family.
Talent.
It's a shame they've got so many
Latoya's,
personal problems.
Latoya, you could question, but
Yeah.
the rest of them, amazing. Jackson 5, you know,
Yep.
all of them.
No,
even,
look, and
even
Michael,
the
I used to
nephews.
love Michael as well. I mean, you still remember him in a lot of his music you hear on the radio still.
Exactly.
But,
and he's
yeah.
influenced so many. In fact, she's influenced so
Yep.
many artists that are there today. Big Grams, other
Yep.
new music. Big
Yep.
Grams Fell in the Sun, which is Outkast Big Boy, who teamed up with Fantagram. This is the first one of their album, also called Big Grams. Very cruisy track.
I like it. I actually don't mind
Very,
this sort of
very cruisy track.
very relaxing, easy to listen to,
Yeah.
smooth. What else we got?
So, Gig Guide coming to Australia, just announced in March. He performed at the AFL Grand Final. Brian Adams will be touring with the Baby Animals and Super
Awesome.
Jesus for a Day of the Green. Visit Day on the Green or Ticketek to find out
Did
where
you
it
see
is in
Kate
your city.
Sobrano forgot the lyrics at the grand final?
Yes, she'd be pulling a bit of a Christina Aguilera because she did that as well at one of the NFL
Pulling
games.
something, but she didn't actually
So-
pull the words out.
No.
I didn't think it was such a big deal anyway.
No, and you know what? You do tend to get tongue-tied every so
We
often.
do.
So.
Let's check out the top 3 songs
Yes,
for this week. Let's have a look at number 3.
At number 3, we've got Taylor Swift, your mate, with Wildest Dreams.
Oh, I love Taylor Swift.
At number 2, it's a song about mopeds, Downtown, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
That's not the woman with the beard, is it? No.
And Justin Bieber for a 4th week in a row with
Give it
What
up.
Do You Mean?
Oh, number 1.5 would have been One Direction.
Do you know what though? I'm actually really happy that a song about mopeds is in the top 3.
I'm actually happy that Bieber is actually starting to grow up.
Oh, there's a little bit of drama there with him kind of hopping on a hip hop artist. But anyway, that will be talking music
done.
next time.
Now we're going to see you later on. You're talking to Aaron Young.
From Expresstival.
Stay tuned for that one. That is, of course, Demelza Leonard doing music. We'll take a quick break. We need to go to a break and be back with more of The Couch right after this. Dr. Jenny and Neesha are back, and we may even talk about the United Nations. See you right after this break. Hello there. What an interesting read. I'm just reading Dr. Jenny Brockis' new book. Maybe while I read the rest of the book, I'll get Neesha to talk to Jenny. Over to you, Neesh.
Thank you, Fred. Welcome back to The Couch, Dr. Jenny Brockis.
Thank you so much.
Now you're here to talk about the end of your trilogy of books. We've had you on talking about Brain Fit, Brain Smart, and now what's the third part of the series?
The new one is called Future Brain.
Future Brain. So tell us a bit about Future Brain.
Okay, Future Brain is a framework. There are 12 chapters, and each chapter is a key to what you can use to help yourself create your own high-performance brain.
Wonderful. So there's a real focus. It's quite specifically focusing on getting a healthy brain first and foremost.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. You can't start without a healthy brain, because if your brain's not up to it, you're not going to be expecting it to work very well for you. So first segment is all about how to create your own fit and healthy brain. And then you can look at operating at a higher level. And thirdly, and I think really importantly, it's about how to work better with others, how to understand what might be going on for other people, so that you can interact and develop a stronger sense of compassion and kindness for other people too.
Wonderful. And I imagine increased perspective taking. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
very useful.
Yes.
So now, congratulations, because
Thank you.
Wiley is publishing this book.
Yes, very excited to have
very,
Wiley as
very
my
reputable
publisher.
business-oriented organisation.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about what to expect when you get this book in your hot little hands, because I've only had a brief review yet, because it is being released, but I already can see some components that I'm certainly going to read more into.
It was written specifically for people to help them operate or work effectively in the workplace, because as a GP, and you'll know this as a psychologist too, you often are looking at people, they come to see you when things are not going very well. And too often the workplace is not always a happy place to be in. And we spend so much time of our lives at work. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we knew what we could be doing for ourselves? I mean, you can't guarantee, but you can build a higher level of resilience, you become more capable, and know that you can do your job well to the level you know you're capable of. And I think that would make us feel happier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
empowered.
empowered, yeah. So
I think that proactive approach is really wonderful when you look at mental health on a continuum, because you're absolutely right. People do come in maybe when they've hit an issue in the workplace, but what we've got in the book is some steps and some guidance around how do we make sure we're our best self.
It's being our best as much of the time as possible. And because, let's face it, life isn't always easy, and we do get faced with challenges. Sometimes we are at work and we have difficult people to work alongside with that we may not like, or they may not like us, and it's knowing how to deal with that.
So is this book really good for managers and employees? Doesn't matter which level of the organisation you're in?
It's valid for everybody. So it's particularly helpful, I think, for managers and leaders, because by understanding more about how their brain operates, they can then be better at helping to manage and lead others too.
And I really like how you say your best self. Maybe explain to us what you mean by best self, because it's not being the best person in the world, it's unique to you.
No, I think it's really important to make that distinction, because there's so much pressure that we either put on ourselves or other people put on us, that we have to be at our very best in and being the best, and it's far from that. It's just being as good as you can be. And being happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we're in flow, they talk about flow,
Yes.
you're at your personal best.
Exactly,
You feel better,
personal
which is the
best,
simple truth
Yeah.
of it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it takes the pressure off. You're not looking to be the number one, you're just being you.
And I think something else that sets this book apart from a lot of, self-help books, because that's not what I'm putting it into that category, but is more around the detail you've put around practical application. So what people can do, taking accountability for your own actions.
Sure. Because I've long been fascinated by the human brain and behaviour, and the whole purpose of writing this book was to take what I know, what I've read from the research, and sort of translate it into something that's really useful on a personal level. So it takes away all the academic speak, which makes it too hard and full of jargon, and you think, what does that mean? It's about sort of making it accessible.
And I think having worked in the medical profession for many years, you would have obviously had a lot of cases and first-hand experience with people on the proactive end and, I guess, unfortunately, the other end as well.
Yes.
Have you put a lot of your experience into the book too?
I think inevitably I have, because I think it's all about helping people to understand that we have a choice. We can either choose to react to what goes on in our lives, or we can choose to respond. And there's a subtle difference there.
So if you're responding, you're being proactive.
You're being very proactive, and being able to take a sort of almost third-person view. You'll be able to sort of stand back a bit and think, okay, how is this actually really impacting me? Is this a first world problem that I'm blowing out of all proportion, or is it something that I can deal with effectively?
And have you received any feedback from the book so far? I'm sure you've shared it with a few people.
I have shared it out with some friends and colleagues, and so far the response has been fantastic. People are really enjoying the book, and that's great.
Wonderful. So there are 3 books, just as a reminder, in this trilogy. There's Brain Fit, Brain Smart, and now Future Brain. We've got a whole stack of books up there, which Fred will talk to you about shortly. Maybe have an opportunity to win a book, is that correct?
Absolutely.
That would be really good. Now, Dr. Jenny Brockis, if people want to know more about you or your
Yes.
books, or have any further queries, because you also do workshops and training,
Yes.
where can they go?
Easiest place is just to go to my website, which is drjennybrockis.com.
Wonderful. And is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we go today?
I think everybody has the capacity to design and create their own very special and unique future brain.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us again on the couch, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon, I hope.
Look forward to it too. Thanks,
Lovely.
Neesha.
My pleasure. And now back to you, Mr. Fred.
Thank you, Neesha. I want the 12 keys to create the high-performance brain. I'm going to talk to Jenny in the break because I really need to find out more about this. It means something to me. And it's beautifully written too. Great font. A lot of books you can't read them. The font's terrible. Very easy to read. Great illustrations. Well done, Jenny. Just before we go to our contact promo, Neesha, tell me about this event that's coming up with the United Nations on the 23rd of October, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. The United Nations Day is on Saturday, the 24th of October this year. We are celebrating in Perth at the Government House Ballroom. Her Excellency, the Governor, Kerry Sanderson, is opening. We've also got Andrea Gleeson, the head of DFAT here in WA, as the keynote speaker. I'll be there emceeing, but importantly, there'll be a lot of lovely guests coming from all around WA. So to find out more, because I will have a guest on the show, Fred, next week, but to find out more, just Google United Nations Association of Australia, WA, and you'll see the event details up on Try Booking. Thank you so much, Fred.
Well done, and I'll talk to you next week with a special guest. And what a beautiful way to tag this wonderful book by Jenny Brockis with the United Nations. They could all be reading it. We need to show you how you can contact us if you would like to win a book. We'll actually give these away after the break, but now if you want to contact us here at the show or check out anything that's happening, this is how you do it.
If you're looking for more info on anything you've seen on today's show, head to thecouch.com.au. It's where you'll find all the links for our guests. plus clips from the show, backstage photos, and even exclusive movie reviews. You can also sign up as a couchie and be part of our competitions, including Spin It to Win It. New Zealand viewers, that's open to you too. So jump online and check it out now. thecouch.com.au.
I don't reckon I'm going to give any of these away. That Dr. Jenny's gone. I'm going to keep them all. No, joking. If you'd like to win one of the books, I'll tell you after the break how to do that. But we've got a fantastic new production company, a theatre company, opening up here in Perth. They've got a fantastic new play. Oh, I just can't control myself. Charlton, take it away.
Thanks, Fred. Today we're talking with Mark Storen about his new play, Benjamin and Me. Mark, thank you very much for joining us on the couch today.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
It's great to have you here. Tell me about the new play, Benjamin and Me.
Yeah, well, Benjamin and Me is my new show, which is part of the awesome International Arts Festival, and it's also part of the Blue Room season. It's kind of a coming of age tale about a young boy, his best mate Benjamin, who's a dog, and they go off on this wild, crazy kind of adventure with a ukulele in a flying machine that they've made out of bits and pieces from their father's garage.
Sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it's good fun.
Now, I imagine you didn't write this overnight, so tell me about how long it took to actually write this play.
Well, this one's been happening sort of over the last year or so, and for me it was kind of like quite a challenging kind of piece because I've been working mostly sort of, creating works for adults. Yeah. My kind of form is storytelling with music, and I'd sort of been performing to a late night crowd, and this is my first kind of family show, so it's for children sort of 8 and up. So yeah, it was more of a challenge, but it's been taking me about a year.
So this, I understand this varies a lot from your normal work, doesn't it?
Totally.
So you're normally aimed at an adult sort of age group, are you?
Very much, yeah, very much.
So it was quite a challenge, was it?
It was a challenge, yeah. But
now, where did you get the idea for actually writing the script?
Well, this one sort of came to me, like I just sort of came home one day and started writing. It just sort of started to evolve, and then as it continued, I guess I drew on a lot of my experiences growing up. I mean, my best mate when I was a kid was my dog, Sasha, who was like a silky terrier. I loved that dog.
Man's best friend.
It was totally, yeah, boy's best friend, So like, but it was, so I guess I drew on a lot of that. I've got quite an eccentric family. I've a grandmother who used to use windows instead of doors, things like that. Quite an inventive sort of family. So, and my father always had this amazing kind of shed where I'd spend a lot of my time listening to records, getting into his tools, making things. He was always making things. My grandfather was always making things. So I kind of drew on all of those experiences, and I put it into this really eccentric, I kind of call them eccentric, whiskey drinking, ukulele playing, happy kind of family. Oh, okay. And that's kind of what they are, and so it's a story about them.
So I'm guessing by the name of your performance company, Whiskey and Boots, that's got a lot to do with your upbringing as well.
Well, yeah, I think actually a little bit, but I won't go into that. But I don't want to get my mum and dad into trouble. But basically, I do have a love for whiskey. I won't deny it, but that came a little later. Luckily for my development. Hopefully. Anyway, but I also like to wear boots. And a really good friend of mine, we were kind of working on this project called Tanglehead, which had a Western kind of flavour. Yeah. And we thought, we need a production company name. We thought Whiskey and Spurs. But that actual project didn't actually come to fruition. So when this sort of came up, I said to him, do you mind if I borrow the name Whiskey and I'll just add boots onto it? And he was happy with that. And here I am, Whiskey and Boots.
Awesome.
Yeah, but not today, just the boots, yeah.
So what I want to know is, this is part of the awesome International Arts Festival, isn't it? The Benjamin and Me play?
Yes, it is, It's it's a great festival that's been going for about 19 years. Yeah. And it's an international arts festival for bright young things. So it's shows from all around Australia, nationally and internationally, aimed for young audiences. So they kind of make up most of the audience, and I think that's such a great thing to be a part of, and I feel really lucky to be a part of that.
Awesome, cool. So when's the play actually on?
Well, we open on Tuesday. Tuesday. Oh my goodness, that's only a couple of days away. Yeah. So after this, I'm off to kind of do the final bits and pieces. We're doing 2 shows a day, 11 and 2, and then the following couple of weeks, we're part of the Blue Room season, and we're doing shows at 6 o'clock. So we run right through to the 24th of October. You can get tickets at the Blue Room Theatre, so it's going to be great.
So the website for getting tickets was?
My website, you can go to www.whiskeyboots.com.au, and if you call the Blue Room Theatre on 9227 7005, they can organise tickets for you.
How long have you been rehearsing that?
Yeah, a long time.
Awesome. It's been great to talk to you today, Mark.
Oh, it's been great being here.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
If you'd like to find out anything else, you can do so at thecouch.com.au. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Charlton. Now it's time for us to give away the fantastic book that Jenny Brockis and Neesha were talking about. It's called Future Brain. It's the third book. If you would like to win one of these books, we've got 5 to give away. All you have to do is send us an SMS to 0439 929 929. That's 0439 929 929. Let's make the code word BRAIN. Very easy. Brain, your name and address. You can be anywhere in the world, anywhere in Australia. First 5 people to SMS me will get a book. The code word is BRAIN, 0439 929 929, and then we'll get your address and details from that. That's the book. Thanks to Jenny Brockis, Future Brain. It is the third book. It's out now. You can get it at all fantastic booksellers, or check out the website as well, the Couch website, if you missed Jenny's website as well. We're going to take a quick break, but be back with more of The Couch right after this. We'll see you after that. Kids without confidence are a really hard thing to deal with. Well, now an organisation run by teenagers is trying to help in this matter. To talk to them today is our very own Neesha. She's talking to the people from A Little Loud. Over to you, Neesha.
Thank you, Fred. I'm joined on the couch by Elsa and Johannes from A Little Loud. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Now, A Little Loud is an exciting little organisation that you've both started. You're both in Year 12, young entrepreneurs, which is fantastic. Yeah. Elsa, maybe you can start by telling us a bit about A Little Loud and what the business is all about.
So we started it because we saw this need in the community. We saw all these kids and our friends as well, because we're quite passionate about drama and we hang out in drama circles, like we've both been in fringe shows, and we sort of saw the benefits of these self-empowered, they know they're good at what they do, they've been training for drama and all of the aspects that come with drama courses like improvisation. So you have the ability to be creative, go outside your comfort zone, and confidence as well, and self-assuredness. And we sort of saw, I don't know, it was just us observing the community and children that were subconscious and self-conscious and, you know, worried about themselves. And that's really, it's damaging actually. So like, you know what, let's do something for the community and let's capitalise on this and work with kids, which we both love doing, and drama as well. It's kind of both our loves, and it's been so great seeing that development of children being less self-conscious and seeing some of the more shy kids coming outside and it being a bit weird and spontaneous.
That's wonderful. And you know, a lot of great businesses start with that passion that you're talking about. So self-esteem and confidence, they're two key areas that
they're the main things.
Focusing on.
And creativity.
Wonderful. And so you run classes. So maybe Johannes, tell us a little bit about the classes. A lot of parents probably watching, thinking, what will those classes look like?
Yeah, well, the classes are really exciting. We start off and the kids come in sort of rushing into the room and we say, okay guys, take your shoes and socks off, let's get into a circle. And they're quite sprightly and very keen to get started, and we sort of bring in the circle, and then the classes start off with a warm-up, and we usually get them to do tongue twisters, Unique New York, and lots of other...
Hang on.
See if you can do this.
Unique New York? No.
Yeah. Yes.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that we're going to have voice training lessons.
He sells seashells by the seashore. Can you do that one?
Seashells.
He
sells seashells by the seashore.
Beautiful.
Oh, once. I'm not doing it again. That's got that on camera.
Yeah, so we do a lot of vocal warm-up.
Okay, lovely.
I also play the piano. It's one of my skills that I bring to the business. That is, so we try and get them to a little bit of singing sometimes, and movement to music, movement inspired by what I'm playing. So we get them to move around, and I'll start by playing some really quite sort of calm music, and then we build up to a climax, and they're all kind of going around the room and embodying different characters, and that's really exciting to see.
Fantastic. So improvisation, but also a bit of emotional connection.
Yeah,
I'm hearing.
absolutely. Yeah, and with the improvisation, it's a lot about giving them a situation and giving them a conflict, and then they have to develop on that and extend on it, and it's really exciting to see them come up with some fantastic and weird things that we would never think of. So you say, all right, you're a shopkeeper, and what you need to do is you need to close down your shop, but the situation is that some suspicious characters have come in and you've got to deal with that. So there's lots of fun things you can develop on in terms of your movement and vocal choices there. And
it's like play therapy as well. That's fantastic. Really good. Okay, and so how long do the classes go for?
The classes run for an hour.
An hour?
And that's between 3 and 4 p.m.
Lovely.
On a Saturday,
Okay.
So the kids arrive, their mums drop them off, and mums can stick around, the parents can stay, and there's a cafe that they can enjoy a cup of coffee while they're waiting, or go for a walk in the park. There's a park nearby, and bring your pets, and
And how long does a course go for?
So the course runs for about 10 weeks. It's depending on the school term. Sometimes it's a bit changeable, but 10-week term.
Lovely. And whereabouts do people go?
People will have to go to Mozart's in Mosman Park. It's 16 Lockie Street. It's lots of people will know it from the movie cinema that's also there. So it's a dynamic cultural space.
Fantastic. And, time does pass so quickly, but I guess just really, swiftly, do you have an experience either one of you can share about the journey of one child maybe that has come and you've seen them grow a little bit and move forward and flourish?
I think the biggest one was there's one sweet little boy and when we started our classes, we were really tight and we were trying to publicise it, and he came to the first class and there were only 2 boys and he's come to every single class, and at the start he was very shy, and we said, okay, let's do something crazy. I want you to move like falling leaves. And now I want you to be melting ice. And he was sort of stunned, this was too far. And then we got an email about 4 weeks in from his mum saying, thank you so much. My son is so much less self-conscious and more animated every week. And that was something that we didn't expect to do. We just had these skills and we wanted to do something with them. And we're also quite interested in business and quite ambitious, so we were like, let's go for it, let's just see where this ends up. But seeing that development of these kids, it's just amazing. It's really, it's amazing.
Oh, look, wonderful. It's been a great experience having you on the couch, and I can see your passion. And you're both very inspirational young entrepreneurs. You're at PLC and you're at John Curtin. You're in your final year. Best of luck.
Thank you very
look, if
much.
you're going this proactive at this stage, I'm sure you've got amazing futures ahead of you. So well done. Keep going with the course. If you've missed any of that information at all, of course, you can also find it on thecouch.com.au. We'll hope to see you again on the couch to hear more about how the course is going.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
My pleasure.
We have a website.
Thank you for reminding me. So if you'd like to look at this beautiful camera over here.
So our business is called A Little Loud, and you can access our website and find out more information on www.alittle.loud.net.
Wonderful. So visit that website or thecouch.com.au. Thanks again, guys.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Back to you, Freddie.
Thank you very much, Neesha. Fantastic cause, and if you need some help, please check out the website. Now, I had the pleasure a week or so ago to go to the launch of the Guide Dogs WA Dining in the Dark. I've got to get that right. Do you know it costs more than $30,000 to train one guide dog? There is no government financing or donations to this great organisation of the Guide Dogs WA. Well, it's called Dining in the Dark. I'm going to tell you more next week because we've got some guests coming in, but I'd love you to support it. So to do that, please check out their promo. Here it is.
Like every other job, guide dogs need training. You can help a guide dog get its first job. Sign up for your Dining in the Dark event now at dineinthedark.com.au, because no one should be alone in the dark.
Gotta love that ad. It means a lot because I went there and I had to make sushi in the dark with a blindfold. I did cheat sort of thing, but I shouldn't have done that. Now, everyone knows that now. But my sushi was the best, but we didn't win an award. But can I just say to Jake Shannon, who made that clip, fantastic. Check it out on YouTube. Tell all your friends. Pass it around. Please share it. And, of course, Gary Shannon, which we all know from 1080 6AX here in Perth. He did the voiceover. So, wonderful organisation. Guide Dogs WA. Please support them. They do a wonderful job and join in with Dining in the Dark as well, because no one should be alone in the dark. Okay, to talk about some brightness today on the show, we're going to talk to Marnie Giroud. She's back with another Wild Things and a great guest. Welcome back.
Thanks, Fred. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wild Things. Well, many Asian species of wildlife are on the brink of extinction due to habitat loss and poaching. The following video documents latest statistics, and we warn, some of the images are disturbing. But there is hope. Wildlife Asia is a non-profit organisation raising funds to enhance natural areas for animals like orangutans, gibbons, rhinos, elephants and other Asian wildlife. Joining me today is Wildlife Asia Director Clare Campbell. Hi Clare, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Marnie.
No worries. Now, we've seen some pretty sad images then on that video. Can you tell us how Wildlife Asia is helping this situation?
Yeah, I mean, as you saw in that clip, wildlife poaching is just becoming an increasing problem across the globe. The trade in illegal wildlife and wildlife parts is now worth over $20 billion a year.
Oh my goodness.
We've seen an 8,000% increase in poaching of rhinos alone in the last decade.
Rhinos alone, that single species?
It's a miracle that the species are even hanging on. And in this area we're working in, the Loiza ecosystem in Aceh, we're talking about the potential extinction of some pretty high profile species. It's literally the last place on earth where Sumatran orangutans, rhinos, tigers and elephants can be found together. It's the only area in Indonesia big enough to sustain these populations, and they're just under increasing threat from poaching. So we're funding wildlife protection units in the area who basically monitor the area, remove snares from the forest, as we saw in the clip, and just monitor for illegal activities. But they've got an enormous area of forest to patrol, so we need to expand these units desperately because the poaching threat is increasing.
Now, I've also heard about there's a fire problem there in that region at the moment. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, Indonesia's in the grip of a firestorm, basically. It happens every dry season. The forests are cleared. It's the easiest way for them to clear forests for palm plantations mainly. Most of that is illegal. Some of it is done by large companies, but the majority of it is just small-scale land clearing, and often in the peat swamps, which, of course, peat is critical for carbon storage. It's very difficult to extinguish fires in peat. It just burns and burns, and it's a disaster. They're predicting these fires worse than 1997. They're already saying the greenhouse gas emissions from these fires is more than Germany's annual
output.
Unbelievable.
And the smoke's not blowing this way, so I think it's not making our news.
No.
It should be. If we were suffocating like Indonesia, we'd be demanding something was done about it.
That's
but
right.
It's going to impact on us down the track, and something really needs to be done about it.
Thanks for sharing it with us, because, you know, we can certainly do something about it, as we're going to find out in a minute. Now, you're also doing a wildlife project in Myanmar. Can you quickly tell us a bit about that?
I can. This is probably the most exciting project I've been involved in ever. This is an incredible part of the world that is only now just starting to open up to conservation. Obviously, they've had decades of civil conflict, which has been devastating for the Burmese people, but in one way it's actually meant protection for a lot of the wildlife populations. So the area we're working in is Karen State, which is actually not under the control of central government. It's quite difficult to work there, but all the wildlife is there as it should be. It's
and we can see that right now.
We've got some camera trap.
That's amazing.
I'm constantly blown away by the images that come back into us from our camera traps. Everything that should be there is there. And in perfect condition, and nature's just in balance. You've got your top level predators and all the prey species. But, you know, as the area is opening up for conservation, it's also opening up for rapid development. The poachers are going to move in as fast as we do. So we have recruited and trained wildlife protection units to work in the area. But just like Aceh in Indonesia, we need so many more of these, that we desperately need funds to increase the number of rangers in the field. We're up against the poachers, and it's a big battle ahead of us, but we want to get in there before they do.
Well, there's lots of ways that people can help. Now, you've got a Raw Arts event coming up, which people can check out on your website, but tell us how people can help if they can't attend an event. How can people help Wildlife Asia?
Yeah, look, the best way that people can help, it sounds boring, but we just need funds.
Donations.
We need funds. So we really encourage people to become regular donors. So make a small monthly contribution. A small amount can go a really long way, especially if it's a regular donation. And it helps us to plan long-term commitment to our partners. Awesome. We also have some merchandise available. We have a clothing line called Poacher Poacher, which I'm wearing today.
And we saw an image of it before.
Yes,
lovely.
We do. So we have a few clothing items, and 100% of the profits from this go towards our field project. So you can buy a T-shirt and you're keeping a ranger in the forest to protect these species.
That's amazing. What a great thing to do, to wear a shirt and know that you're helping so directly.
That's right. It's an easy way to help.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to hear more about your projects as they go along in the future. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to have the opportunity to tell everyone about our projects.
No problems. Thanks, everybody. If you'd like to help Wildlife Asia, jump on our website, www.thecouch.com.au. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time, and be wild.
Thank you very much to Marnie and Claire. I've got a question for you. This wonderful outfit, does it come in my size?
That can be arranged.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Would it be expensive?
No, same
well
price.
worth the expense, but
That's
fantastic cause. Well done. Thank you for coming in today. And thanks for coming in too, Marnie. Welcome back. We need to take a break because we're going to talk about Expresstival coming up right after this break. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Couch, only on Fox TV. We are completely out of time today, so I'm going to end the show. But before we do, Grace Newton-Wordsworth, one of our fantastic presenters, will be singing her original song next week. But now it's Demelza's turn to talk, because she's going to talk about Expresstival 2015. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Fred. I am joined, as Fred has said, by Aaron Young for Expresstival 2015 to tell us a little bit about the event. Aaron, welcome to The Couch.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, why is Expresstival so important to you?
So Expresstival is the highlight event of Anti-Poverty Week here in Western Australia. And, you know, why it's important is because, like I think, well, for me personally, one of the biggest issues around poverty and homelessness is being able to reach out, to be connected to other people, to be able to find what you need when you're in a situation that, you know, when you find yourself doing it tough. And well, I've been running this event for 4 years now, and, you know, it was really, until this year, I had a bit of a situation earlier in the year where I found myself like doing a bit tough. I didn't have any money. I had debt collectors after me, and I was really finding that, you know, it was a bit of a tight situation. I was almost looking at homelessness, and as I told to you before, I got into a situation where it was pretty much like if I didn't find some money, I was going to get kicked out of my rental. And so I went and created this big elaborate story and said, I'm going to downsize my life. I'm going to live in the back of a car. It's going to be really great. And of course, the people close to me saw straight through that and, they, helped me out. But at the time, I didn't really want people looking down on me. I didn't really want people to kind of know that I didn't have money and that I didn't have my, everything going for me in my life. And so that's why we run Expresstival. It's really to, encourage people to share their story, to speak to other people, and it's really about love and connection in the community.
Wonderful. And how does Expresstival then make a difference?
So we work, at the moment we're working with 10 not-for-profit organisations that help in the community. They provide support services like feeding the homeless, education for young people, and like support services around drug awareness. And so what we do is we're working alongside them, and we're about connecting people, and as people share their stories, showing them how they can engage with these service providers if they need to.
Now tell us on that, tell us about the organisations that this event partners with and are working with you.
So as I said, there's 10 of them, but we've been working with Manor, who provide over 3,000 meals a week to the homeless in Perth. The Smith family, who work with kids from disadvantaged backgrounds to help make sure they get an education. There's the Mission Australia, the Australian Red Cross, and also Fairbridge. That they all provide support services to people from disadvantaged backgrounds, and there's a few more.
Now, Expresstival is coming up very shortly. Can you tell us how much the event costs?
So it's a free event in Forrest Place, and that's really thanks to our generous sponsors. So Infinite Wealth, an organisation since their inception, has been really focused on giving back to the community, and Foundation Housing have come on board because they're really focused on the whole holistic approach to social housing and the health and wellbeing side of it, and making sure their residents are taken care of.
Now, obviously it's a massive event. It is the 4th year. Can you tell us what's happening at the event?
Yeah, so there's an amazing lineup of things happening at the event. We've got 23 performance groups ranging from hip hop acts to there's the Chinese lion dance group that are coming down. There's going to be a big art installment in the middle of the event with some really amazing local and international artists. And there's going to be activity stalls and great food at the event. So there's a bit of everything for everyone.
Fabulous. And where can people visit the Expresstival?
Okay, so it's October 17th. It's in Forrest Place from 1:30 till 7 p.m.
Wonderful. And finally, how can people find out more information regarding the Expresstival event and the acts that are performing?
So if you want to find out more information about Expresstival, go to our website. It's expresstival.com. Or you can check us out on Facebook, and we've got a lot of updates on what's happening at the event and the kind of things, the activities and the organisations we're working with are all listed on there.
Fabulous. Sounds like a wonderful cause, a wonderful event. Be sure to check that out. And of course, if you want any more information on Expresstival, make sure to head to the Couch website. Fred, it's back to you.
Thank you, Demelza. We are right out of time. That is episode 540 of The Couch. I hope you like it. Thecouch.com.au is where you get all the details. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week with another big show, and we'll see Grace next week. Bye-bye.